If you want to know what a meditation coach is and how working with a coach using mindfulness practices can make an impact in your life, just stick with me for a minute. I actually got invited to speak to some graduates of the coaching program that I participated in about 3 years ago, where I learned my own meditation practice and how I learned to coach people. I had this opportunity to speak to a group of people who were graduating from the same course. And one of the questions that our teacher asked was, it was asking about some of the work I'm doing now and some of the areas that I am typically coaching people in. And what I found, what has become the center of my practice and what makes an impact for a lot of people is coaching around authenticity. I have a very simple belief, and this 100% applies to myself just as everybody else. We're all playing a role. Every day we put on a suit, right? We put on our identity, right? Very difficult to take off after you've been wearing it for so long. And we present ourselves out into the world a certain way. And it's how we were raised by our parents, whatever norms we picked up from society, our culture, religion, whatever it is. It's all of these layers that we put on that we use for various reasons. Some of it is for safety and our own protection. Some of it is so that we can have better social connection with certain groups of people, or we believe we need those layers to be successful in the world and the parameters of the world that we live in, right? Why authenticity? The downside of those layers, even though it has all those benefits, you realize, and I think a lot of people wake up one day and you realize that you're not actually living life on your terms. Are you actually doing the things that you genuinely want, or are you participating in activities based on the thoughts, beliefs, and expectations of people around you? Where does coaching come in? Typically, when I'm working with people, getting into a meditation practice, finding the stillness, or as I like to call the silence, is one of the only times that we are genuinely connected to our most just base primal nature. Our truest version of ourselves is when we get really, really quiet. The world is so noisy and loud. Everything from our phones to TV to the hustle and bustle outside of trying to survive in the world that we're in, trying to make enough money, it is so much noise. By allowing ourselves to come into the stillness, into the silence, we can actually connect with ourselves. A great example, I was coaching someone the other day, and they're definitely someone that was very much self aware. And I started to notice a very big reflection with myself where if you're the kind of person where you're constantly intellectualizing what you're feeling and experiencing, you can talk it through, you can be very aware of yourself and the things around you, but you suffer from inaction. And what I found is that is primarily because you're not actually allowing yourself to feel your feelings, to feel your experience. You're able to talk about it. You could talk about it constantly to no end, but just talking through something isn't the same as action. It's an important step and it can be very helpful. But actually getting to a place of action and moving into a desired goal or desired state, one of the first steps is actually allowing yourself to feel what you were feeling. And that's where authenticity comes in. Allowing yourself to be okay, to be vulnerable enough in those moments when you are frustrated, upset, or even when you're really happy or filled with joy, actually allowing yourself to feel it and say, oh, I really like this, or wow, this is really driving me up the wall, versus trying to run away from it or attempting to jump right into action around something versus allowing yourself to actually sit with it. Through the meditation practice, sitting with your emotions and your feelings, you can have a deeper understanding of self. The more you understand yourself, the more you accept your experiences, the closer you're getting to authenticity. And after that, then you can make a conscious effort, make a conscious action based on what you actually want or what is necessary in that moment versus being an autopilot, Being an autopilot is experiencing something and immediately reacting without giving yourself a breath, without allowing yourself to feel it or consider what's happening, right? We're all living in autopilot. I do it every day. All that conditioning is so deep rooted within us, it's difficult to shake. And I don't necessarily believe that it ever completely goes away, but by coming to a place of acceptance of ourselves, of the silence within us, we can get to a place of actually making conscientious efforts towards the things that we want most. And that's always my goal working with my clients. If I can help get you to a place where you are accepting whatever you're experiencing, good or bad, and from that place, making a decision that will propel you forward in the direction that you determine. You get to determine what the next step is, but you have to allow yourself to feel it first and accept your experience. That's typically the starting point. Being a meditation coach, I coach on authenticity. If you want to live a more authentic life, if you want to have that deeper understanding of self and take those conscious steps, reach out to me, shoot me a DM, or just follow along with my videos. I'm going to try and share as much of this information as I can, my experiences and my approach on TikTok and Instagram. Follow along with me, and I hope you enjoy the ride.